Hey everyone, it's Lorne here, founder of Real Estate Rookies, founder of the Commercial Real Estate Group in Toronto from Remax Realtron. I'm here with 5 other cool guys, my brothers that were at R4 and other stuff. Lots of fun, great colleagues at the Remax Realtron, platinum agents and teams. So just wanted to bring everyone together and just talk about ideas of what we've been doing. Just introduction about myself. Lorne Smack, Remax Realtron. I'm out of Lorne Park in Mississauga. Next, Shane. If you can introduce yourself, Shane.
Sure, yeah, Shane Giddens with Remax Realtron as well. Service pretty much the Bathurst corridor, I want to call it. Anywhere from St. Clair all the way up to Finch is kind of the area we target and focus in. I live at Bathurst and Lawrence.
Great. Sebastian?
Yeah, Sebastian Ballin out of the Willowdale Realtron office, and me and Hove, who's also on the call, we service Old Markham, which is pretty much Highway 7 and 9th line.
Hove, you want to choose yourself?
Yes, sir. Hove Chidarian, Remax Realtron. Like Seb said, we like to focus in Old Markham, but it's not 7 and 9th line, 7, 9th line, 7, Markham Road, a little bit more north. So, we're flexible.
Thanks, Jordan.
Jordan Glazer from the Shepherd office, Realtron, with the JP Homes team with Shane, servicing North York, Clanton Park, Bathurst Manor, Armour Heights, all throughout the North York area. That's it.
Awesome. Vadim.
Vadim Vilansky with Remax Realtron, the Shepherd office. I service Patterson. And I think, Hov, you need to get a driver.
Yeah. You know what? I'd really like that. Before this COVID thing, Seb would be nice enough to drive a little bit more often than me, but unfortunately now it's not the case.
Hey, listen, if you're gonna talk smack on the call, you got to take off the glasses at least so we can see your eyes.
Well, who's talking smack? I'm complimenting you.
Anyway, just wanted to know, first off starting, how's everyone going for the last bit? Just quickly about myself, when I started off, had 3 listings on the go, all of them suspended, and a whole bunch of buyers on the go, all of them suspended, which I think was for the best. But as it is now, I think there's getting more into normalcy. So like the first few weeks I thought was everyone was like, what's going on? But now I think everyone sort of accepted it and sort of moving a little bit more towards normalcy, or at least the new normal. That's at least what I'm seeing out there. What are you guys seeing? Just take it away, whatever.
I think, from our point of view with our team, we've had some pretty good success and stuff going on since this whole thing has happened. We, right off the bat, started to shift kind of our strategies and our thoughts and how we were approaching things a little bit. We had a few listings that were set up for multiple offers that we rejigged the strategy and, didn't think that was necessarily the most effective. But in this, since we've all been isolated, we've still gotten the properties up and sold. A couple of properties for like buyer clients, lease clients we've been able to do with a little bit more trickiness. Getting into condos and things like that's been tough. So it's retooling how we're doing it, but there's still business going on. Things are still happening.
It's the same with me and Sebastian. We got lucky because we got a deal done right when this whole thing started. And then in the meanwhile, we've done a couple as well. We have a couple clients. They have a few things up and coming. They're kind of pushing it back for at least a few more weeks. But I think it should be okay. And a couple other people are coming around as well. And people, like you said, people are kind of getting used to this as a norm per se. And they see that, prices aren't really going anywhere. So that's definitely helping people feel confident about what's going on.
Yeah, I think some people, like we've all touched on, some people have definitely put the brakes on selling. But at the same time, you have other people that have kind of come out of the woodwork and said, hey, you know what, let's get ahead of this and let's put our condo. So in our instance, we've had a few people with assignments and saying to us, hey, let's get ahead of this. We don't know where it's going. we can make money today, and why don't we sell today as opposed to hope to either make more in a year or lose money. So I mean, for everyone that is now on the sidelines, there's people coming off of the sidelines ready to take action, and there's buyers out there that want to take advantage of the market, right? So
I think that assignment world is going to be one where there's going to be some good opportunity in the next bit. Because I think that there's investors that are saying, I've done so well to this point, maybe I'll just take advantage of it and go and not see what happens to this and get out. So I think to go with that, Sebastian, I agree. I think that's going to be an area of opportunity for people.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of assignments out there, and definitely an untapped network. And I think also, was it Walter that brought that up, or was it Jeremy on it was a Zoom call a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, and said the same thing, like assignments are going to be a good opportunity for people, because I mean, some people have made a lot of money and they just want to cash out now as opposed to risk losing some of that money. So
yeah, for sure. And talking to clients who are about to take possession, and then it's like, now do I start renting it out? I mean, with this whole May 1st rent break thing, they're like, I don't know. And I suggested you should wait a month, see how it all shakes out. Like, I don't know, but I don't suggest renting it out right now, right when you take possession of it. And at the same time, right, it's during occupancy. So like maybe you signed it out. Like, I mean, it's so unclear what they should do, but I think the idea of assigning it and selling it is more on the table than it was before.
I think it'll also be interesting to see what happens with like new construction builders and what they're selling and releasing. Because I think there's going to be a lag from them. They're probably slowing things down and not pushing sales or releasing new buildings this spring as they probably had planned. So there's going to be less inventory coming out from the development side. So the assignment area might, it'll help fuel that also.
Yeah, and then all the canceled new condos too that were coming and didn't.
Same.
It's going to be very
You'll see
interesting.
a lot more of them with a number of major builders going bankrupt. I've heard a couple of stories. Galleria, I think, is changing hands. That phase 2 at least. So
yeah, definitely interesting landscape. So I'm going to move it over to just, I guess, a specific issue I have. So I'm going to change it over to speaker view. So as you talk, it'll just show your face. So one of the questions I had just want to put out there is more about reaching out toward your sphere. I mean, I personally do have an issue in general calling up my sphere. I like to touch them through other ways, texting, Facebook, that kind of stuff. I'm not really one to call them, but I'm doing that a little bit more often. And just wondering what the response has been when you've been calling out, when you've been reaching out, that kind of thing. You want to give me some advice or how everything's been going?
About reaching out to the sphere?
Just talk, just intro, whatever.
So we were just like yesterday we were talking, Ninja and I were talking about creating the list after Ron's session, and now we're taking it super seriously, where we're building up. We've been talking about it for a year and a half now, but now we actually said, okay, now we're going to create this Excel file, A list, B list, C list, and then this is going to become our Bible for now. Because it's always been like on paper, yes, we will do it, we need to do it, but it has never been solid. Now, after that last session with Ron, we said, okay, it's done. And I will highly encourage everyone to do it, because I'm learning more and more that one who are very successful in this business is because they constantly communicate with people that they know. This is where the money really comes from. It's not always looking for new business. It's also sustaining and continuing with the clients that you already serviced. That's my thought.
That's something that me and Seb do quite a bit as well. I mean, especially me, right? Like, it's a little bit easier for me just because, like, I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife, so I got a little bit more free time than you family guys. So I'll reach out to friends and past clients and stuff like that quite often, and just to shoot the shit, really, and nothing to do about previous transactions or anything. And I mean, sometimes they'll ask, hey, how's business and what's going on? And, then they'll bring up, oh, so-and-so is thinking of selling or whatever. But for the most part, it's just keeping in touch so that they know that, listen, we're genuine. Like, yeah, obviously, we want to do more business. Everybody wants to make more money. But when people also recognize that, you know what, this is not all business related. Like we're not the typical sleazy guys just trying to get a deal done, right? They see, hey, they're still around, and at the end of the day, we don't pretend that it's not about business. Everybody wants to do more. Everybody wants to be successful, but we just, we try to make it as friendly and professional as possible, and I think that goes a really long way, because it's not like you pop out of nowhere and, hey, I'm back, I want to be your friend again. You're constantly here, and we always ask, how's the house? Do you need anything? Do you need any referrals for equipment or contractors or anything like that? So we just try to be as helpful as possible, and it definitely works.
I think that's the key when reaching out to your sphere is, if you do it continuously, or if you're consistent with it, the next call or the next email, the next text is never awkward. As opposed to if you do business with somebody today and you reach out in a year from now, then it gets a little bit awkward. It's like, I'm not just going to pop in and say, hey, what's up after a year, right? So if you're consistent with it, it's 100% easier. And I mean, even now, like, listen, there's always those clients that you kind of lose touch with, and you want to get that ball rolling again. But like in times like this, like, it's the perfect opportunity, right? Because it doesn't have to be business at all, and it's just be like, hey, thinking about you guys, whatever it is, right? Like the message really doesn't matter as long as you're reaching out. I mean, obviously you don't reach out, to say, hey, are you looking to sell or you want to buy, right? But like, you have to be cognizant of the times and what's going on. But as long as you reach out in some way, shape, or form, I mean, you're already, that's half the battle.
Yeah. I think where we are now, like in calling through people I know and my people, the response has been amazing. People are so welcoming to the calls. And I think it's even for me, I've gotten calls from people that, I wouldn't normally probably get phone calls from, but they're calling me, just checking in and saying hello. And you get off the phone and you're like, oh, wow, that was really nice. That was a nice phone call. I think we're all at a point where we're all just looking for connection, because all of us have so much uncertainty and all of us are uncomfortable in a way with what's going on, that to just have somebody reach out to you or have a connection with somebody just reaffirms that we're all in it together and we can all help each other out. And, just a simple hello can go a long way.
Yeah.
Jordan, I got to give you credit, man. It doesn't matter what I turn on. You're always there, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. It doesn't matter. You're everywhere. You are the Zoom king, bud. I'm
everywhere. Everywhere, man.
I can't get away from you, man.
It's just you.
My house with you.
Hey, Jordan, the truth is, he doesn't want to get away from you. That's why he's seeing you everywhere.
That's right. I'm pinpointing it just on you.
Yeah, he's doing a bunch of ad spend around his house. Like
I started doing it when we started this, and I said, like, the only thing to do right now is to keep in touch with people and keep in front of people. And all we're all doing all day is sitting on our phones or on our computers. So if I can do that and offer some value and some help to people at the same time, great. That's it. And, from a small business point of view, I figured if all of us are going to get through it, and, the restaurants we used to go to, we want still to be there, then we've got to encourage everybody to keep supporting the local businesses and the stores and the restaurants and stuff like that, so that we can have some sort of normal life once we get through this.
Yeah, Sebastian, that was a good point, just about if you keep up with the calls, it helps, right? As opposed to calling, your high school buddy from 20 years ago. It's like, what's up? Like, well, I don't know. What do you need? It's a little awkward, but I guess if you do it, 4 times a year or something like that, it gets a lot easier.
But you did good. Like when for this session with your bomb, I mean, that's great. Like, we've been talking about doing that for 2 years now. We still haven't done it. I think that's great if you can incorporate some type of video like that. It's very personalized, right?
Oh, for sure.
You almost feel bad not answering the email.
Oh, yeah, with the quick page stuff or whatever. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sebastian, again, you ever need any help, obviously reach out, right? I'm always here. Awesome. Well, okay, no, that's cool about the calls. I'd like to maybe ask your next question. Shane, do you have like any idea or question or issue or topic you'd like to chit chat about?
Like the contacting sphere is always like an interesting one. Just kind of playing on what we just spoke about. I'm guilty of, sometimes letting time pass and, and getting into that awkward stage where it's been way too long, but it's somebody that, we once had like a really close relationship with. After that last session that, Realtron put on with Rich, it just kind of reminded me that, now is as, sorry, there's a lot of noise. Now is as good a time as ever to make those calls and say, hey, look, I know it's been a few years, like, time flies and obviously we all get so busy, but now that we have an opportunity, let's chat.
Very nice.
Should we send help, Shane? Yeah, everything okay back there?
Help? You good? All right.
Anybody who's watching this who has kids knows exactly the feeling.
Knows exactly. I just gotta put like signs up the door, like try not to bother me during this hour, please.
Yeah.
Recorded.
Every time I hear footsteps come close to the door, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you, Sebastian, you have any question or issue you'd like to address to the group?
I mean, issues like Hope touched on it earlier. Most of our business has been that face-to-face interaction, whether it be coffee, lunches, meetings, whatever it is, right? So we've kind of built our business that way. So that's where this whole COVID thing has affected us. But at the same time, we've also pivoted now where we're spending money on print now, where we think 9 out of 10 will not, right? Because of the times we're in. So we're investing on print. We're doing a lot of online stuff where we didn't beforehand. So we're pivoting. For us, we're optimistic in the sense like we don't think this is going to be forever. So eventually things will get back to normal where you could meet up with people. But in the meantime, yeah, we're just pivoting our business and how we go about getting new business.
Cool. Hav, you have anything to say? Any issues or questions, topics you'd like to talk about?
Well, I mean, listen, all the stuff that you see online and in the Zoom meetings and the seminars and stuff is always stay positive, focus on what you haven't been doing, do more of that, keep doing what you're doing. And as cliche as it sounds, like it's the truth, right? This whole Corona thing can make you or break you. It's all about, and again, as cliche as it sounds, it's all about mindset and what you do with it, right? And I was talking to a buddy of mine a few days ago, and I said to him, I go, he's like, oh, how is it? Is it tough for you guys in real estate with what's going on? And I said, to be honest with you, I'm okay. I'm making the best out of it. I almost feel like this is a summer vacation. It's like I'm back in elementary school or high school, right? And we're out for the summer. And just because you're out for the summer, I mean, yeah, you don't think about doing homework, you don't think about this, you don't think about that, but you still plan your year, right? Especially like if you're in university and stuff like that, you still plan. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm being positive, and like Sebastian said, we're pivoting. We're doing stuff that we had always planned on doing more of and focusing on, right? The print we would just do here and there. The online stuff was minimal, but right before this hit, we were talking about implementing different things, and once it did, we also implemented those different things. And in the meanwhile, like you said too, I don't think this is going to last forever. You got to make the best out of it, and you got to stay positive no matter what. Because if you lose your focus, if you lose your drive, and you get miserable, well then good luck getting any business whatsoever. Even if the leads do come, if you're on the phone and you sound like you're miserable and this whole thing is terrible, people are not going to want to do business with you. So that's it. We're just staying as positive as we can and doing what we can.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely stay positive. I try to associate with mostly just the positive people. I mean, there are some people who, sky's falling, that kind of stuff. And if it is, it is. But until then, I'm just going to keep moving forward.
But the sky's always falling for those types of people.
It's
right?
always falling.
It doesn't matter what's going on. When the market was on fire and there was 10, 20 offers, years ago, the sky was falling because, there wasn't enough houses.
Yeah, you can't
Right
afford
now-
anything. It was horrible.
Yeah, so like I mean, you're never gonna change those people.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is a worldwide pandemic, as they say. So at the end of the day, there's nothing you and I can do that's going to change anything for people. All we can do is do what we can and prepare for when it switches. And if it doesn't switch, and this, you got to move with the times as well and make it your norm. One thing that a lot of people they have oversights about or they forget. So, and it has to do with people's mindsets. Okay, we're all human. So whether or not you haven't called somebody in a year, whether or not you're dealing with someone who's worried about this pandemic, everyone's human, and everybody's mindset can very easily be I don't know if swayed is the right word, but like you get rid of that awkwardness very quickly if you don't have it. So if I haven't spoken to somebody in years, whether it's a client or a friend, you call them out of the blue. Yeah, the first 10 seconds may be awkward for them, but in your voice, if they hear that you're not being awkward, you're perfectly comfortable and it's all good, I find that the awkwardness dissipates right away. And that's all across the board, whether it's just, you know, a friendly call or business related. Most of the time you go right back into where you were. So I think it's important to realize that everybody's human and nobody wants to feel that awkwardness. Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel positive and comfortable. So the sooner you wrap your head around that and you just engage in the conversation, I think the sooner it happens, and it just goes well for everyone on both sides.
Yeah, it's really, really good points. Jordan, you want to talk about any particular topic?
I'll say when we first started this, I think a big problem that I was having or a challenge that I was facing was just staying busy and making time to get stuff done, trying to juggle, still feeling like I'm doing work while still trying to, you know, help my wife take care of the kids and spend some time with them. And like Hove said, take advantage of the time that we like. Never would we have ever thought that we have weeks to spend time that we normally wouldn't with our kids and our wives and our families. So still kind of trying to take advantage of that while still working and feeling like I'm getting stuff done and getting stuff done was a big challenge for me. And I've kind of shifted my mindset a little bit from what my normal kind of expectation of my day would be to a new normal of expectation and managing all of those different areas. And I think at the beginning of this, that was a hard part for me to overcome, was to get used to this new norm. And now as we gradually keep going through it, I'm getting more comfortable with it and finding different ways to manage it in different times to get certain things done so that I can still kind of do all the things and go outside with my kids when it's nice out and play outside with them, but still knowing that I'm getting my stuff done here that I need to get done.
Yeah, I found the same problem too, right when we started out. It was just, everything was up in the air, but now I've been more scheduled. You know, there's certain times when it's like, okay, look, I really need to work during these few hours. Can I work? You know, it doesn't always work, but it helps. And the expectation really is just, we all have to accept that this is going to be the new normal, at least for the next, couple months. We have to accept that. Like, when we started out, we sort of accepted, oh, maybe it'll only be a couple of weeks and we go back to school, right? When you have that type of expectation, all of a sudden you get really antsy. But if it's like, look, if it's going to be like this the next few months, deal with it and then like move on, right? Like you're not going to be able to change it. So you have to just move on.
Yeah. You're not going to get the 9 to 12 every morning of nobody coming and talking to you so you can sit and focus anymore. So you've got to tweak that and shift it around to make sure you still get your time in, but that you're expecting, that it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. And also you're able to work on so many more systems. It's great. I mean, I did like a buyer presentation through Zoom. It's like amazing. Like if we keep doing this going forward, like this is awesome, right? I don't got to drive on the 401. Like it would be pretty cool.
I think it's going to totally change the way all business is done.
I think so. And because the expectation is there, right? Even if it was just virtual showings and that kind of stuff, it's like the expectation is, oh yeah, no problem. No one has to come to my house. We can sign all this digitally. I accept that. It's good, right? Like when in the past, maybe they didn't really, some customers or clients may not have accepted it. They're just like, no, why don't you come over and do this and that? Now it's like, look, we can't. So Let's just try to figure out the next step.
Yeah, and it'll become a norm. It'll become a norm. Like, oh, you want to come to my house? Why don't we just do it over Zoom?
I think like the mundane stuff, like the signing and stuff, yes. But I don't know, like if there's anything I've learned from this is that like you're buying a house, whether it's 500K or, $3 million, you want to go see it, right?
Yeah.
You want to,
I agree.
like virtual tours are great. Don't get me wrong. Everything is great. Like they're all add-ons, right? But there's still that interaction you need, with the house or with the realtor, with the client, whatever it is, right? There's still that human aspect that I don't think is going to go away. And again, as great as Zoom is and all these virtual tours, like they're just add-on. So maybe the signings, like maybe going to the lawyer's office now, the signings will continue to be virtual, or, maybe an initial meeting, clients will be like, okay, let's do something virtual first, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the end of the day, there's still always going to be that human aspect.
I don't think this is going to take place of people like going into houses and being able to buy a house. To me, you have to be in it physically. I have someone who I did a lease for the other day, and even with that, it's not permanent, but she wouldn't buy it without going in and seeing it, because you need to be in a space to be able to see what the space is, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Vadim, you got any topic you want to bring up?
So here's what I really think that is going to happen. Those who want to succeed will become even busier after this. Those who are just looking for excuses to watch Netflix and just kind of just take it easy and just kind of, oh, well, we will do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. This period will pass by and it will be back to just skill. Oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did this. So this is something that Jordan and I were talking a few days ago about, is that take advantage of this working on our business for so long, like just working in the business. Now we actually have an opportunity to work on the business, meaning that I develop a new website. I'm redoing my marketing right now. I'm recreating my CRM, polishing my tools that I have done in the past year and a half, where I have learned. Now it's the time to implement. And this is what I highly encourage everyone to do, because we will not get this opportunity again to just kind of work from home, focus on working on the business versus running around and just being part of the business.
One of the things, and thanks for doing that, that's helpful. One of the things that I would say I'm struggling with right now is kind of just morally how to, promote myself and my business, and let people who aren't necessarily in the sphere and the people that I'm calling on a daily basis, trying to get through that list, and connect with everybody, and to still let them know that I'm in business and I'm still working and we're still selling things. We've sold a few properties in the last month. I got a new listing up today. I'm reluctant to put that on Facebook or Instagram and say just listed, just sold. And I know that others, feel a little bit more comfortable, and, some act like, just nothing has changed. I wonder kind of what that right balance is. I started to question whether or not it would be appropriate to just, hey, let's just act like, like things were before. Yeah. So we just listed a property, big deal.
See, the way I would rationalize that is I would tell a story. So instead of saying just sold, right?
Yes.
Tell the story, whatever that story is, right?
Yes.
Meet, John and Mary. We initially sat down 2 months ago. They were thinking of selling it, just the story, as opposed to just something, cheesy, like just sold or just listed, call me for your real estate needs. The market's on fire, right? Like I would just pivot and either tell a story, or if it's not a just sold, here's what's going on during this pandemic. This is what has sold. This is what's going on, right? And be real. Like I think the days of saying, oh, the market's on fire, multiple offer, like that comes off as a little bit, I guess, cheesy.
Yeah.
But I think you could. I don't think there's anything wrong in marketing that you're working, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a negative at all. I think it's just about how you present it.
Yeah, I mean, all of us were in Vegas, and I think for me, that was like my biggest takeaway that I brought from that R4 convention this year in Vegas was to
Vegas.
remember little bits of it, was to tell stories. People don't need to just be inundated with I just listed or I just sold this, but hey, here's a story how something happened during a time when things are different, and how we were still able to achieve a buyer's goals or a seller's goals or expose this or do this in a way that was successful without just plastering just listed and just sold.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will resonate with people, especially normally, but even more like during a time like this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's perfectly fine to show that, you know, you're working just listed, just sold. I did this, I did that, just not too over the top. Like, oh yeah, again, the market's on fire, like 50 multiple offers. You better get out quick. Like don't do that. Don't be that guy.
So if I can just clarify, Shane, I didn't mean that let's focus on showing how busy we are, but this is the opportunity for us to be at our office and to create systems, to really develop, become better than we were before. This is what I really mean, like, you know, and you probably see, like, you know, like, yes, I'm working as like, you know, because I have to work, but at the same time, the key that I was able to do is work on the business itself, develop the systems. You know, Alex was always saying that create checklists for when you're listing a home or when you're buying a home, have a checklist. So this is the time, this is what I've been creating now, instead of just kind of like guessing what needs to come up next. Now I'm going based on a checklist and I say, okay, I have this steps that the pre or during the listing or after, like, so creating the system. So it's like, because we're going to become even busier coming soon, we might as well be ready for this business.
Yeah, it would be a squandered opportunity if you don't build some of your systems. All these checklists, really important, right? I'm working on my website. I shot like 20 videos of myself like last week. They're doing post-production. I got to post them. Like I'm setting up the SEO. I hired someone on Upwork for content management, like social media management, looking for revamping my website. Like all these things I can't do during the middle of a spring market. I mean, those would just be crazy. But the fact that we could do it right when we're allowed open houses again or something, and you're just going to go crazy because of all the pent up demand. I think it's going to be pretty good. I think so.
And if I can add one more thing as well, I don't know if you have heard, but the government is supporting employers and they're paying 100% of if you're hiring summer students. And I don't know if you noticed, but Ryerson got in touch with me right now and saying, hey, we have so many amazing students out there looking for a summer job. Would you consider? And this is an opportunity because they're paying 100% as a grant. So you're paying the salary and then you get this 100% back. So to us, it's like, you know, like top producers becoming a diamond at some point in the future. Let's take advantage of it because we can help others, first of all, with jobs. And secondly, I know we all think, okay, well, we can hire someone on Upwork. And I agree with you, Lawrence, we can. But if we can help the economy right now and help someone else have a job, you will get 100% of it either way. And in my previous business, I've been doing it. I was getting 75% back, but now the government says they will give you 100% back. So it's an opportunity for you to hire either a full-time graphic designer, a social media specialist, or SEO, like someone who will actually help your business get to the next level.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
I didn't know about that one, so I'm gonna have to look at that. That's really good.
It was just 2 days ago, and they're reopening the application on April 27.
Ah, very nice. So
Might as well, right? So
that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I guess
let's think like a business. That's what I'm saying.
For sure. So I guess I'll just open up now for just talking about anything. Last thing I guess I wanted to talk about was what trends do you see coming and I guess how you're taking advantage of it. So just from a personal note, I do believe retail and commercial are really going to suffer because of the small businesses going out of business and now the leases are going to have a problem. So now the owners are going to have a problem. All that means that there's probably a lot of opportunity in the buy side on the commercial end. And so now it's another pillar of business, but now I'm really pushing more towards the commercial end because I see that as like a trend in the next, 12 months or whatever. So just curious if there's any trends you guys see and, how you're pivoting and changing to try to meet with that demand. Yeah.
So if I can add the investors, those who are looking to buy properties, I feel like there is going to be a lot of them. I was struggling for a long time to figure out how do I find those investors. And what I started now doing is I went the reverse. I said, if you're an investor, where would you buy now? Or just kind of going the reverse instead of just kind of trying to find who is the investor. You, as an investor, you're asking a question. Okay, I'm an investor looking to spend some money. Where do you think I should buy? And all of a sudden, you get replies from investors, and then you create another conversation with them afterwards as well.
Very nice. I like that.
Yeah, we touched on it earlier. I think again, assignments are going to be big. I think also condos. I think there's going to be opportunity there. Not pre-con, but resale condos.
As in, do you feel a lot of the people in the condos are just going to try to move to the suburbs because of the space, or do you mean like what? Or
no, more the investors. So I think we're going to see some investors that are just saying, the heck with it. Let's just cash out at this point, right? I've been renting it for X amount of years. I made good money. Now it's harder to rent. My tenant's behind on a few months because, like, realistically, I think there's a ton of tenants that that have used the fact that you don't have to pay rent, right? And rightfully so. So and I know a ton of investors that have their condos and they're not cash flowing even before this pandemic, right? They're dumping $300, $400, $500 every month, right? So now you add on 3-4 months of non-pay, then it's all adding up, right? So I think we're going to see some resale condos, some opportunity in that market for sure. But I think assignment's the big one.
I think to add to what you said, there's also an Airbnb market that's getting killed also. So people that were cash flowing huge that now have nothing. If you made your money on the appreciation and you were killing it bankrolling through Airbnb and now you've got nothing, you say, well, let's move on to the next one now and get out of it. So I think in addition to just the traditional rentals, that's going to be a market of condos and houses as well that'll pop up. Not to mention the people that are going to end up, getting divorced or have babies that need bigger houses or selling their houses once we get through this. Also, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a market.
I think divorces, yeah, for sure.
That's going to be a thing. So something to keep an eye out for and kind of monitor there also.
Awesome. Anyone else want to add anything else?
I would just add that, I think 360 tours are going to be, standard. I mean, if they aren't already right now, it's interesting that shift in mentality before COVID. I wanted to encourage buyers, as many as possible, to come through a property that we had listed. And now it's almost the opposite. It's that, not discouraging buyers from coming through, but just making sure that the right buyers are coming through. And I think, that there might be a shift kind of in the market and, qualifying buyers a little bit more, making sure that the right people are coming through.
Yeah, that's what I thought was a good part about the market. It's really more the serious people are going to be either buying and selling, right? You don't have as many tire kickers. They're like, let's just look at some condos or whatever. Like, you don't have that anymore, which is great. It's less driving around, so I think that's cool. Okay, well, I guess that's everything. Other than that, I wanted to thank everyone for coming by.
Thank you, Lawrence. This was awesome. Thank you.
Try to wave, guys.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for setting it up.
Yes, great. Otherwise, hopefully we can make it to R4 again next year. But man, Vegas is shut down, so I have no idea what's going on there.
Well, you can't keep Vegas closed. So one way or another, we'll be there.
Yeah. So let's sign off again. Again, I'm Lorne Smack, Remax Realtron out of Mississauga. Shane?
Yeah, nice to see everybody. Thanks so much for putting this on, Larry.
Great.
Thanks, Lawrence. Appreciate it. Sebastian Ballin with Realtron at Willowdale office.
Jordan?
Jordan Glazer, thanks. Realtron.
Everybody knows Jordan.
Everyone knows Jordan. All over the place.
What's open North York?
Vadim, want to sign off?
It was amazing seeing you guys. I'm looking forward for Vegas 2020. That's what I'm looking for.
2021.
2021? No. Oh, yeah. It's February.
This
time it's in March.
You forgot about it, but you did it.
I mean, technically, we can now go to Vegas. Apparently, they were opening everything, and they think we're back to business there. So.
Okay, I'll sign off.